Hi, I'm Jeff, one of the owners at Planning Pod, and now we're going to walk through how to add other floor plan elements like stages and doors and walls and things of that sort. So we're going to click on the Events tab and then click on the event where we want to edit the floor plan. Here is the Floor Plans tool, so we're going to click on the arrow button to go to that tool. This takes us to the floor plan summary page. Here is the floor plan we want to edit, so we're going to click on the launch button for this floor plan. And here's what we've created thus far for our floor plan. One of our other videos discusses adding tables and chairs, so here are all the other floor plan elements that you could possibly add to a floor plan. We're going to start by clicking and holding on the left door icon and then dropping it right here onto the canvas so that we can add a left opening door. And you can change the width of the door here. We're just going to change it to 40 inches. 36 inches seems to be a standard door width though. So here's our door. We're going to double click on it and then we're going to click on the rotate link so that we can rotate this door. So we're going to click on the bar and then pull it to the right and rotate this to 90 degrees. Then we're going to release the mouse click so that it saves it, and then we're going to click on the close icon there, and then we're going to click on the door and then pull it and position it so that this is where the door would appear in this particular room. Now we're going to add a double door by clicking and holding on the double door icon and then dragging that and releasing it right here. And again, we can enter in a door width. So we will enter in our own custom width and click on save. And then we're going to maneuver that right here to where it exists in our room space. Finally, we need to add another left opening door. So we're going to copy the one we already created. We're going to double click on that door, go up to the yellow menu and click on duplicate. And we're only going to make one copy of this door. So we're going to click on the one and click on save. Here's that door. And that door exists in this side of our room. We're going to double click on the door so that we can rotate it again. And we're going to click on the rotate tag. Then we're going to rotate this to 270 degrees. We're going to release the click. We're going to close the menu. Then we're going to position this door to where it exists inside of this room. So that is how you create and position doors. Now let's look at other architectural elements such as columns and walls. First, we're going to add a square column by clicking, holding, and then dragging that out to our floor plan. So we're going to drop it right here onto the canvas. And again, you can create the dimension where this is going to be a 24-inch column, and 24 inches for a square column means 24 inches on each side. We'll position that. Now we're going to double click on that because we have two more of these columns. So we're going to click 2 in the pull down menu and then click on save. Here are those copied pillars or columns, and then we're going to drag them into position. Next, this room has a round column, so yes, it's a very funky room. We're going to go down to the round column icon, click, hold, drag, and then drop it here. And again, you can enter in a dimension, and this dimension would be the diameter of the column, of the circular column, and then it needs to be positioned right there. This room has a few bump outs, so we're going to create one of the bump outs here. And you can also use this particular tool for creating walls. So you can create a wall length in feet and inches and a wall thickness in feet and inches. Now this bump out runs vertical, not horizontal in our room. So we are going to oops, sorry about that. I'm going to reposition the canvas. I'm going to double click on that bump out, and then I'm going to click on the rotate tool. I'm going to pull the bar down to 90 degrees, release it, close the menu, and then I'm going to click and maneuver that into position. Right there is our bump out. This room also has another bump out on the right side of the room, so we're going to place another wall or bump out there. And then we are going to enter in the length and thickness of this particular wall. And after we click the Save button, we can now maneuver this wall into position. And that particular wall goes right here. There are a few very large windows in this particular room that have drapery, so we are going to go down to the drapery element, drag that over to the position there, and then the drapery, the width of the drapery, we're going to enter there, click on Save. Now we have to position this properly, so we're going to double click on it, and then we're going to click on the rotate link there. We're going to pull the bar down at 90 degrees. We'll close the menu, and then we will drag this particular item into position. There are a couple other places in this room that have draperies, so we're going to double click on this. We're going to click on the duplicate link. We're going to duplicate this twice, and now we will position this here where that drapery occurs in this room. And there's another one at the bottom, so we're going to position that down here at the bottom, and we're going to need to rotate this again, so we're going to double click on the rotate link, rotate that back, and then we will position it. You can also add the positions of where particular staff or entertainment items will be in your layout using these icons here. For example, you may have a staff member or attendant, so we're going to click on that, hold, drag, and drop, and you can always change the label of these items. So we're going to change the label of this, the staff member to staff attendant. I'm going to save that, and now you can see here is that staff attendant who is positioned right there. And we're going to zoom in so we can show you, the further you zoom in, the more of the tag you will be able to read. You should note that these items are not to scale, but they are mainly for showing the position of these items. And another example is if there's going to be a band at your event, you can drag and drop a band icon to where that band may be positioned in the layout. And we're also going to add a microphone to this area right here. And this is where the mic would be set up in our room layout. Now let's take a look at how to build some floors for this particular room. We're first going to create a tiled floor. We're going to click on that, hold it, drag it, and drop it here. Usually tiled floors are often dance floors, but they're floors that are modular. So we're going to choose a color for it. And next you can select the tile dimensions, and 36 by 36 is fairly common. We're going to enter in a different size. You can also designate how many tiles across and down this tiled floor will be. So we're going to drag that into position. And it's a little large for this particular layout, so we're going to double click on the floor. Then we're going to go up to the yellow menu and click on the Edit button. And we're going to reduce the number of tiles in this floor. And rule of thumb basically says that you should allot for 36 inches for every dancing couple that's on your floor. There, that fits the room a bit better than the previous size. So now we're going to add a solid floor to our room layout. So we're going to click, hold, drag, and drop to this position right here, which is where we want to place that floor. And we're just going to say that this is sort of like a networking social area. And we're going to add the color to this floor. So we'll click on the color tile. And here we can simply add the width and the depth of the floor. And once we're done, we'll click on the Save button. And it looks like we can make this floor a little larger. So we're going to double click on it, and then we're going to go up to the yellow menu and click on the Edit link. And then we're going to widen the floor here. And once you're done, you can click on Save, and here's that wider floor. Now, as you can see, this floor is now positioned over our microphone, which we had placed earlier, but no worries, we will just move the floor to the back of the canvas. So we'll double click on the floor, click on Send to Back, and now you can see here the microphone is now on top of the solid floor. And you could have accomplished the same thing by double clicking on the microphone icon and then going up to the top and clicking on Bring to Front. So now let's place a square stage over here for the band. So we're going to give this stage a name, and then we're also going to click on the color tile and give this particular stage a color. And we may make this stage orange. And then we can again add a width and a depth for the stage. Now, a square stage will have squared off corners or 90-degree corners at the front of the stage. And this doesn't quite look like what I want it to look like. So I'm going to double click on this and then go up to the yellow menu and click on the delete button, because I want to use a rounded stage instead. So I'm going to go over to the tools area here. I'm going to drag our rounded stage over there. I'm going to give it a name again. And then I'm also going to select a color, and we're just going to go with, I think we're going to choose a bright red for this stage. And again, we can select the stage width and stage depth. And as you will see in a moment, this round stage will have rounded corners at the front. And it's positioned it in a way that we need to rotate it. So we're going to double click on the stage. We're going to click on the rotate link. We're going to pull down the rotate bar to 180 degrees. And then we're going to release and close the menu. And again, you can see we've positioned the stage over the band icon. So we're going to double click on the stage. And then we're going to go up to the top and we're going to send it to the back again so that that icon now appears on top of the stage. Now, what's missing in front of the stage are some seats. So we're going to click and drag on the chair row icon, and that allows us to choose chair type, the number of chairs in the row, how far apart the chairs will be spaced. Rule of thumb says 3 inches or more, especially for narrower chairs. We're going to choose the clear area, and here is our chair row. We are going to position this in front of the stage now. And I'd like to add another row, but before I do that, I'm going to go up here to click on to show the service and clear area, just to make sure that I space these far apart from each other. So I'm going to double click on the row we created. I'm going to click on the duplicate link. I'm only going to duplicate one row, so I'm going to save that, and then I'm going to position it right above the first row we created. And now I'm going to go back up and turn off the show the service area. And here is our floor plan. So make sure and check out our other videos on working with tables and chairs, as well as how to place guests at chairs. Thanks for watching.